The landscape in Oklahoma has been changing. It's a term we call woody encroachment. That includes eastern red cedars and a number other varieties like this right here, a honey locust, and the problem is getting worse.
To give it an Oklahoma analogy, they might as well be trying to rope a tornado.
That's what Drew Daly with Oklahoma Forestry Services says it's like when trying to deal with wildfires during extreme weather and increased fuels that haven't been managed.
Eastern red cedar is always at the first and foremost of our concerns. It is native to this landscape, but we as a society have left it go unchecked, and it's out of balance with what its ecological role is.
Laura Goodman, a rangeland extension specialist at OSU, agrees.
And so we know for Oklahoma, most of the state was burning every 3 to 5 years from wildfire. And so that really kept eastern red cedars from spreading because they're just not fire tolerant at all. They can't resprout if they burn.
It's a tough balance because of the need to protect property, but also manage the landscape. The costs skyrocket without prescribed burning.
And so now we're trying to use fire again and use that in a way that we can manage the ecosystem kind of how it was historically managed. And we can do that with grazing too.
Unlike eastern red cedar, some species like honey locust and Osage orange re-sprout after fire, and that means heavy equipment or chemicals are needed. I'm here at the Cross Timbers Experimental Range, and this is where researchers at OSU up near Stillwater do research on landscapes like this. Back in 2016, all of this was cut down. Now it's starting to grow back up, and they're measuring the quality of the water and also how fast the growth is taking place. Now let me show you just on the other side of the road how it looks. This is a landscape that has not been managed at all, and look how thick it is. You can't even walk through that.
If you go in there and you spend $300 to $500 an acre to cut large trees, you'd hope that you maybe don't have to do anything after that. The reality is we definitely have to follow up.
The problem with woody encroachment is massive because it extends well beyond just wildfires.
The male trees produce so much pollen, and that pollen travels a long ways. But we also have other problems. As the trees are moving more west, we have issues with more West Nile virus.
So we have this list of impacts: fire issues, allergy issues, viruses from more mosquitoes and ticks. Then there is the issue of water. The trees use so much water that farm ponds run dry faster and droughts can be amplified. The agriculture industry is especially feeling the pressure.
It's really a big deal because it has taken over some of the rangelands that may have been more open, and that impacts livestock production on a really large scale.
Dana Zook, OSU Area Extension Livestock Specialist, demonstrates how much things have changed utilizing technology like this rangeland analysis platform.
And so there's some specific properties we can look at in this particular area that started in around 1986 with 6 to 8% woody cover on the land, so pretty much open, and then every year increased about from what it looked like about 10%, and in the last 40 years it went from 8% to about 40% coverage, and so 40% of that particular quarter of land was covered by trees, and so that's really a situation where stocking rate is really impacted. Carrying capacity of that land is really reduced.
That means beef producers have to reduce their herds or purchase expensive nutrition alternatives. Despite the challenges, Laura remains hopeful.
Central Oklahoma is going to be a little bit tougher. We have a little bit more to work with here as far as trees go, but there's hope no matter where we are. I think we can still make a lot of progress.
Moving forward, Central Oklahoma will be challenging when it comes to fire because of the number of structures and the impact potential.
I think we've had the wake-up call. We need to cease and desist hitting the snooze button. we need to take action. Homeowners need to take responsibility for their properties.
Drew says we are making progress with many agencies and landowners working together, but there is more work to do.
Wildfire prevention comes into the mix. Fuels management, including prescribed burning, comes into the mix. The responsibility we have to be good stewards on the landscape comes into the mix.
As you can see, this will be very dynamic due to the variety of impacts. And other states further north, all the way from Kansas to the Dakotas, are learning from us so that they can try to stay ahead of these issues. Field meteorologist Michael Armstrong, KOCO 5 News.